Hey everybody, this is Joseph Pasek and welcome to the On the Mat Wrestling Show on the Fired Up Network with my two friends from Huge Pop Wrestling, Donnie Da Silva and Jimmy Corderas. We're going to preview Saturday night's main event, and you can see it in the background, Goldberg versus Gunter for the World Heavyweight title. Could be Goldberg's last match. I know Donnie is crying that it's his last match. Maybe Goldberg comes out and spears him or something like that. But Don, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm definitely crying. Goldberg is my childhood hero.
It is.
No.
You're next.
That's fine. I've had a good run. I'm actually legitimately surprised that the internet as a whole is convinced, not just believing, but convinced that Goldberg is going to win this match. And then that's going to be quickly followed up by him getting speared by Braun Breaker, another, Georgia guy, and then Seth Rollins cashing in. I don't see this happening for a variety of reasons. First and foremost, it's Goldberg's last match. It's been reported it is, in fact, his last match. And I know that Goldberg is not exactly the traditionalist, okay? He's not exactly the guy that you look at and go, yeah, he's a lifelong wrestling fan and he understands the traditions of wrestling and everything else. Like, no, he's not that guy. However, he's been around long enough, and also he's not in a position in the company to be dictating or calling the shots. I mean, Jimmy, am I crazy? When a person finishes up their career, you do the honors. You lay down and you put the other guy over. And when the other guy happens to be a champion that they've been building for a few years, you put him over. And I just think it'd be absolutely insane not to do that. And to me, the entire reason this match is happening on Saturday night's main event and not at SummerSlam and not on Raw is because it's on NBC. And Saturday night's main event traditionally brings in a more casual audience, the people that maybe don't have Netflix, the people that don't watch Raw or SummerSlam, but they're flipping through, and before they turn on Saturday Night Live, it's like, oh my God, that's Goldberg. I remember him from the 90s when I used to watch wrestling. And now they tune in and watch. Well, who's he fighting? I don't know this big German guy who's Austrian. What do I do here? I'm going to cheer for Goldberg. And then when Goldberg loses, then they go, oh my God, Goldberg lost. This guy must be great. To me, that's the way. What's that?
Let's hope that's what they think.
I think that's the only logical way to do this. And plus, because it is on Saturday night's main event, and this is going to a casual audience, why on earth would you complicate the process by doing a cash-in? Your casual audience doesn't understand what the hell's going on. There's two guys having a match. All of a sudden, some other guy comes carrying his luggage and gives it to the referee and says, no, it's my turn. And then he leaves with the belt. Your casual fan is going to look at this and go, well, this is stupid. What's going on? Goldberg won, and now he didn't win? It's so stupid. Well, is Goldberg going to beat those guys up now? No, he's retired. Oh, I don't get it. It's stupid. I think you run the risk of alienating people more so than drawing those in. So is it possible that this is the direction they are, in fact, going to go? Yes. If they do go that route, I will stand by these comments. It's stupid booking.
I agree. For once, I agree with everything he just said.
For once.
Yeah, it's been like 28 years since they last agreed. Okay, look, Jimmy, come on. What do you think? Do you agree?
I agree because Donnie has stated earlier that, and I have stated that there is a lack of genuine heels across wrestling, and someone like Gunther is a refreshing break from not having them. He is an organic heel that everybody dislikes. I mean, it's not the old, oh, you know what? I like Gunther because I like his work. That's not happening anymore. He gets booed. He gets legit boos out there. Now, you run the risk of hurting that aura that surrounds him by him losing to a 58-year-old Goldberg.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. He looks fantastic for his age. He's in shape. I know people are all screaming about, well, he gets blown up just walking to the ring. Now, this is some nervous energy. Goldberg's always had that problem.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't nothing new. So if they keep this short, they keep it tight with someone like a Gunther. There's a reason he's in there with someone like Gunther, because they're not going to get a twisting, burning 450 hammer Phoenix splash from him. So I don't think a cash-in happens here, because then it does nothing for Seth. Seth is supposed to be a heel now, and they're confusing the audience, especially with his theme music. That needs to change sooner rather than later, because all of them singing along and him encouraging it. You know what? I'd like to see him actually, if he does show up and they play his music and everybody sings along, and he just grabs a mic and says, enjoy it, because that's the last time you're going to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. Something along. But anyways, getting back to the match. Because like Donnie said, everybody's expecting it. Everybody's predicting it. Everybody says it's going to happen. Guess what? It's like when Excalibur in a championship match, when the challenger is covering someone, we have a new champion, and it doesn't, and the champion kicks out. That's what's happening here. Everybody's screaming, oh, we're going to have a new champion. And guess what? We won't.
And let's say this, it's been a hard week for Seth and Becky Lynch. Apparently their home were invaded or broken into and everything like that. So, thank God. I don't believe they were. So thank God with that there. But let's just hope for a good match and not blown up in 20 seconds. All right. There you go. Donnie, let's take care of the next match. Yeah. LA Knight against Seth Rollins.
I'm going to sound like a hater, but I couldn't care less about this match. I really don't. I feel like all the heat going into this match feels shoehorned. It all feels manufactured. I mean, all wrestling's manufactured, but it feels very, very artificial. I don't believe the heat between these guys. Yes, I'm supposed to be upset that Seth and his crew screwed LA Knight out of the King of the Ring. I'm supposed to care. I don't. Maybe that's because I'm not an LA Knight fan. Maybe that's because I don't believe in LA Knight as a babyface. I don't care that he gets cheers. He doesn't make me feel sympathy when he's taking heat. I don't feel bad for him. So if Seth Rollins stomps his face, I'll be like, okay. Like, I don't care. And it's more to do with how he's utilized and how he performs than the man himself. So I really don't have a burning interest in this one. I would love to say that I do. I just don't. I don't know. I can't see a world where Seth wins where Seth doesn't win, because LA Knight is not hot and Seth has everything behind him right now. So there you go.
Jimmy, you heard greatness here, because I agree with him for the first time in 50 years. All right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's unbelievable. Maybe I should play 649 and Donnie, when I win, I'll give you $5. All right, Jimmy, what do you think?
I think they pigeonholed themselves in this match. Exactly. With Seth and LA Knight, because they've had so many stops and starts with LA Knight. I think the crowd has not got faith in him anymore. Yes, he still gets the cheers only because he does the catchphrases, the LA Knight. Yeah, he still got that. Mm-hmm. He still gets the pop for his music, but other than that, not so much. And as much as Seth Rollins with the Money in the Bank briefcase can afford to lose because he doesn't lose any steam with the Money in the Bank briefcase still in his possession, in theory. I don't think either one of these guys, Seth can't afford to lose, and LA Knight, if he does, it's just going to be it's just another loss when it looked like they were going to do something with him.
Turn him heel, for God's sakes. He's not doing anything. Just turn him heel.
I'm going to catch a lot of heat for this, but he feels like, and a lot of people have said it, a Stone Cold knockoff.
He's a Stone Cold Rock wannabe. That's what he is. And I'm sorry, but if you come to the ring with a leather vest and a bright red t-shirt underneath, I want to punch you in the face because you look stupid. And if my first feeling when you hit the curtain is I want to punch you in the face, you're a heel. I have no problem with the guy wearing his merch in order to push merch. But a stupid red t-shirt underneath your leather vest, you look stupid. And I want to punch you in the face.
Right.
And it doesn't help that this guy, what is he, Jimmy? He's in his mid-40s also. And you could understand it for guys late 20s, early 30s, and just 30. But I think he's 42, something like that, right? So I don't know.
Well, yeah. So it's not like with him, you got a young guy where you can say, okay, we still have time with him. I'm not saying his time is up by any means. But you got to do something with him soon. And if, like I said, regardless of the fact that Seth Rollins has outside help potentially again, which we might see more than once tonight on this night, it's still, I don't see how this benefits him at all.
I'll tell you this. I'll say this though, Jimmy. I don't think you have, when you say, well, he's not a young guy, you have to do something with him. I don't think they plan to do anything with him. I think that what they're doing with him is exactly what they're going to continue. He's a hand. Mm-hmm. He's just a guy, and the fact that he gets a decent reaction when he comes out is nice, but I don't think there's ever been a plan to make him their guy.
Right.
And I don't see that changing, whether he's a heel or a face. I just say make him heel so he's a little bit more compelling. Right. But I don't ever see a world in the WWE where LA Knight is your guy.
Right. Well, this almost feels like LA Knight is a placeholder to get to Seth and CM Punk.
100%.
Yep. Exactly. Right. Last show, we got to give him credit. Donnie went on the line and said that Solo is going to capture the title. And what did he do? Capture the title. Yes. See, I'm putting you also for the first time in 25 years. All right. Look. Okay. So. Now,
ladies and gentlemen, mark this date down in your calendars, please.
Yeah. What have you learned, Joe? Stop doubting me, okay? What have you learned?
I've never doubted you. Just when I have not a lot to drink, I don't doubt you. I never. All right, so Solo and Jimmy Uso for the title here. Donnie, you think he can ever win the title? Come on.
No. I don't even know why this match has been added. I didn't even know it was added until right before we recorded, and you mentioned that it was just announced online by Nick Aldis that this match was added. I find it really weird that Jimmy Uso has a match on Saturday night's main event and Jey Uso doesn't. I find it interesting that this is the match they wanted to go with. I get it from the perspective of you want to feature your United States champion. That makes sense to me. I get it that you don't want to just run back Jey Uso or excuse me, Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu. I get that too. But this feels like a SmackDown opener. It doesn't feel like something you would want to highlight on Saturday night's main event. And again, the way I preface this is I'm still looking at Saturday night's main event as it appeals to a fragment of the audience, which is going to be casual tuning in for the very first time in a long time. And are those the guys you want to showcase when you've only got 4 matches? Is that the way you put your best foot forward? No knock against either guy. I love both of them. I just think that there's other ways that you could electrify the crowd a little bit better.
Jimmy, could we see the return of the Usos? He mentioned Jay not be here, and a couple weeks, maybe Roman Reigns comes back. I'm not saying Bloodline or whatever, but could we see that's why they added this match? Because it comes out of nowhere, but it makes sense, but there'll be a payoff also.
Yeah, there has to be a payoff, but I don't know if Roman Reigns is the payoff yet.
Yeah.
It's way too soon. I could see Jay coming out and helping his brother, of course. Maybe we get a little bit of who else? Sammy's. I don't know this, but Sammy's already in a looks like in a program with Karrion Kross. So
yeah, but he's out indefinitely. So.
Indefinitely, yeah. So I could see Jay helping out and getting him an appearance on Saturday night's main event. But the whole thing with Jay is that entrance is what will fire people up. And like Donnie talked about, the casuals who may tune in, who aren't very familiar, they probably maybe heard the name, but they're not very familiar with them. And they see that reaction, an entire building yeeting. That is what you want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to see him doing his super kicks and stuff like that. Obviously, you want to see him in a match, but at the same time, you want to get that crowd reaction. You want to let people know that, look, people love this guy. You want people to see that. So but I don't see the title changing hands here. No, Solo. I think Solo as United States champion is going to be a longer reign than people expect.
And Joe, you have to also, you're saying, well, there has to be a payoff. There isn't. And the reason there isn't is because a lot of these matches, there's a common thread here between the matches that are happening on Saturday night's main event, like the LA Knight and Seth Rollins match. There's a lot of matches on the Great American Bash, on NXT. There's a lot of matches on Evolution that just feel thrown together. You know why? Because they were. You know why? Because these events weren't even supposed to happen. This was just WWE saying, we want to piss off Tony Khan and AEW, and we want to run as much noise and competition as possible when they have their WrestleMania. And that's what's happening. And that's why a lot of these matches feel disjointed and out of nowhere, because there's not a lot behind them. They're putting on matches. It's not like your regular WWE PLE where there's a lot of well thought out story. This is just filler because we decided we're going to piss them off and we're going to split the audience. And that's fine. It's competition. The people that get mad about this, it's like, oh, you only like the version of capitalism where nobody wins? Like, sorry. Like, if I'm in business, I'm going to try to crush my opposition. And I get this mentality. But that's why there's no payoff. That's why this stuff feels thrown together. Because it is.
So the next match and the last match that we're going to look forward to on Saturday main event, I don't know where they're going with this one because Drew McIntyre coming back, he definitely needs a win. But Randy Orton needs a win too. So I'll start off with this. You think no, but if it's Randy Orton and Cody or whatever, and he's going to turn, and I think he may be right. But what do you say, Jimmy? Let's start off with you.
I don't think Randy Orton needs the win. I honestly don't. In this situation, I think, he already referenced it when he was talking to Cody on SmackDown that he hesitated and Cody didn't. I think this is going to be another situation where Drew does something to slip over on Randy, and Randy, this is what causes Randy to snap. And we see the Viper return. The one that won't hesitate next time, the one that will RKO everybody and their sister. Do you know what I mean? That's what I want to see. I want to see that Randy Orton, and it's getting there. And I think this is going to be the precipice for it. I think this match is going to set him off and push him over the edge.
All right, and I think Donnie agrees, right?
I'm a little bit different. I mean, I agree with Jimmy that Randy 100% does not need a win. I don't subscribe to that logic whatsoever. I actually think that both of these guys are the two most bulletproof Teflon guys in the company. They could lose every match from now to the end of their career, and they're still both Hall of Famers. And nobody will ever think poorly of them when they're promoted for a match. You will always think they can win. You will always believe that they are a threat, and they are just both bulletproof. Again, this falls into the category of let's throw some stuff together and fill out this show because this was really thrown together. I don't know why, as much as I'm saying, like, I feel like neither one of these guys needs a win. I kind of feel like they're going to turn this into some kind of schmoz that's going to be like a double DQ, that kind of thing. Because I feel like there could be legs between Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre, and maybe you don't want a definitive winner here. And there are other guys that are involved in this story, and maybe other hands get involved and make this messy. Or maybe someone decides to go the route of, using some ringside implements to try and get an advantage, and referee happens to not be blind on that night. I think there's a high possibility that this one ends up in a no contest. If you put a gun to my head and said pick a winner, I'd go with Drew. But this almost feels like one of those matches, Jimmy, where both guys would be in the back going, I don't need to win. You should win. No, you should win. Right. I don't need it. No, you take it. I don't need it.
So Drew will be there just saying to Randy, I'll get my heat, brother. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'll get my heat. I'll be fine. You take the win. No. You're coming back. You take the win. I can totally see that conversation happen.
So we're heading into SummerSlam in a couple weeks. We all know it's Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and Cody, John Cena. But interesting, where do you see Drew McIntyre, Jimmy?
Drew McIntyre going into SummerSlam.
Yeah,
maybe like now that Donnie set that table, I could see him having a rematch with Randy, and will it need a stipulation? I don't know if it needs a real heavy duty stipulation, but it is SummerSlam. Well, I think maybe that's where he goes. Yeah, maybe that's the case. If it does end up in a non-finish at Saturday night's main event, I could see them having a match at SummerSlam where there is a definitive winner in a certain type of match, whatever it may be.
Okay, so I'll be here to Donnie. Here, I know wants to know, Donnie, where would you book LA Knight?
I'd book him at the popcorn stand.
That's right. That's right. All right, Donnie, tell everybody once again about Huge Pop Wrestling Show.
Huge Pop, Canada's #1 professional wrestling show, and we are coming for the title of globally known as #1 wrestling show everywhere. Each and every week, we have absolutely killer interviews with people from the world of professional wrestling. Right now, you can hear our exclusive sit-down face-to-face interview with our friend Al Snow. It's probably, I don't even know, Jimmy, third or fourth time that we've interviewed Al.
Right.
He's just so much fun to talk to. Every conversation is different. Obviously, this one was different just by the fact that we're not talking through a screen and we're sitting with him in the middle of a ring. It was a lot of fun. Next week on the show, we're going to be spending a significant amount of time promoting the Great American Bash Slammiversary, TNA Slammiversary. Thank goodness Slammiversary is not this weekend because we've already got 72 pay-per-views. So now they get next weekend all to themselves. And so we'll spend some time talking about that. And the guy that's going to join us to help talk about it is Nick Nemeth, formerly known as Dolph Ziggler. Nick Nemeth is one of the absolute top stars in TNA, and we are thrilled that he took some time out to talk.
All right, before I throw it to Jimmy, TNA, it looks like they talked to the owner. It looks like they're going to get a major TV deal, he says, in about 2 to 3 months. What do you hear about the TV deal, Jimmy and Donnie, all for TNA? They collaborated with WWE, and it's been going good. Major TV deal that could make, say, a TNA pretty much #2 if they get a good deal.
Well, it depends on the deal they get. Obviously, the talks are there. They're not going to let too much out of the bag too early, that's for sure, until everything is finalized. The I's are crossed and the T's are dotted, you know, or is it the other way around? Anyway, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But, you know, that I think a lot of people would agree that that's the one thing that's been missing for TNA for a long time, is for them to get a TV deal that puts them in front of a lot more eyes. Because here in Canada, now that they're on Sportsnet 360, where they have a good platform that's nationwide, that's a big help to them. They need something similar in the United States, because you know, with all due respect to their current platform, it's not great. Let's be blunt. It's not great at all. So relying on the streaming service of TNA Plus, I know a lot of people are talking about, oh, everybody's going to streaming and not everybody is going to streaming. There's still a lot of people who do not stream and will not pay for a stream. So,
quite frankly, if you're going to streaming, your distribution has to be Netflix. If it's not Netflix, then it better be Disney. Only platforms that are pretty universal. Okay, like Netflix is in the majority of homes worldwide. Disney is second. If you're not on one of those two, just forget it, man. Like, you know, yes, your content is getting out there, but it's not going to be universally absorbed.
So you're trying to say that Max is not providing the numbers that's been reported?
No, you got it wrong. HBO Max. HBO Max.
HBO Max. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
It's HBO Min, not Max. I will say, Joe, I teased this when Jimmy and I chatted with Nick Nemeth. A little birdie said to me, actually, yesterday, that the deal for TNA and a national television distributor is already signed. It hasn't been announced yet. And if it's not signed, then it's about to be signed. The deal is in place. And they are just sort of dotting the I's, crossing the T's, figuring out the details. But the deal is done. So I don't think it's going to take as long as a couple of months for the announcement. I think it could come as soon as Slammiversary, to be honest with you. Because from what I'm hearing, it's done.
Okay, well, tune into Slammiversary, maybe find out. Jimmy, tell everybody how they could get a hold of you, and these guys will be back once again to do another wrestling show.
Yeah. Okay, you can find me at Jimmy Corderas on Twitter, at Real Jimmy Corderas on Instagram, on Facebook, all over the place. On Huge Pop with Donnie, he already mentioned, Al Snow, and also on Reffing It Up, which this past week we spoke with none other than Carlito. Now that's
cool. Yeah.
See, we're on the same wavelength, bro.
That's right. Stay tuned for more great from Huge Pop Wrestling Show. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, Joe.
Hey, can I